Is this the longest journey to work in the world? Now, I'm sure there's people that will say, oh no, there's longer journeys than that. But is it one of the longest journeys? All right, fam, so today I'm going to see whether I have the longest journey to work in the world. And here I'm at the train station, 7 a.m, about to leave. Let's see what time I get to work. So there you see the train. It's going to come at 7 a.m. exactly. Okay fam, so I just did my train journey. So I'm here at the airport, and what I'm going to show you is the most expensive airport in the world. Let's get off here and I'll show you how much it costs. So let's check this out. Okay, that went off quick. That was $22 just to get off at the airport. At this station here, $22. Okay fam, so the next leg of my journey is from Sydney to Perth, starting here at the airport. And let's see how long this will take. It should be a 5-hour flight to Perth. And that's at 9:15 a.m. So remember, I left at 7 a.m. at my train, and 9:15 a.m. is my flight to Perth. Go. Perth flight VA 555. It's a bit of a gloomy day here in Sydney. Let's see what it's like on the other side of the country when I do eventually get there. Plane's not arrived yet. It'll be one of these ones here soon, I think. That's the domestic airport. Okay fam, so I've made my first leg of the journey 5 hours later. I'm here at Perth Airport, as you can see behind me. Now what you have to remember is there's a 5-hour flight. I left Sydney at 9:15, but if you look up there, it's only 11:51 here in Perth, because we're 3 hours behind in Perth. So because of the summertime and the distance that we've travelled, so Sydney to Perth, Sydney's 3 hours ahead of Perth, so it's 10 to 12. And that's the first leg of the journey. I haven't got to work yet, I'm only in Perth. Let's see what happens next. Okay fam, so now I'm at the Perth Airport train station to get to Terminal 3 to get my flight to Port Hedland. Got about 2 or 3 hours there. So I'm going to head to the shop and I'm going to explain a little bit how long this flight actually is going to take and how long it takes me to get to work. But also what I'm going to find out is how expensive Perth's train station is. For the airport. We know Sydney is a big rip-off, 20 Australian dollars. I reckon it's the biggest rip-off in the world, probably the most expensive airport train station in the world. But let's see how expensive Perth's one is when I get to the other side. Okay, so let's see how much this cost. There you go, $2.16. And Sydney's $20, 10 times the cost. Wow, what a rip-off, Sydney. Anyway, now I'm going to head to the shop, grab something to eat, and I'll chat to you about the flight. Okay fam, so to fly from Sydney to Perth, 5 hours, about 4,000 kilometres. To give you an idea, if you wanted to fly from London to Lebanon in the Middle East, you'd get there quicker than flying from Sydney to Perth. With the wind at the moment, whoa! If you wanted to fly from Los Angeles to Miami, west coast of America to the east coast, you get there quicker than flying from Sydney to Perth. And I could go on and on, guys. It's a long flight. And remember, all we've done is gone to Perth. I've still got to get to Port Hedland yet, and I'll explain that in a sec. And for my Thai friends, if you were going to fly from Bangkok to Mumbai, it's quicker than flying from Sydney to Perth. That is how far I've just flown. Just to get to Perth, not to work yet, just to Perth. Okay fam, so I've made it to Terminal 3 and 4 at Perth Airport. So now I'm off to my next stop, which is Port Hedland, 1,600 kilometres away. 2-hour flight. So that's going to be, 5,600 kilometres to get to work. And 7 hours flight. So let's see how we go. Okay fam, so the last leg of my marathon journey is from here, Perth Airport, to Port Hedland. It's going to be 3:10 p.m, which will be 9:10 p.m. Sorry, which will be 6:10 p.m. in Sydney, 3:10 p.m. here in Perth. So it's going to be nearly 12 hours since I left home, and this is going to be a 2-hour flight. So that'll be going soon, and then I'll be on again once I get to Port Hedland. Alright fam, so I made it to Port Hedland. You see the airport behind me there? 36 degrees, 5:20 p.m. Western Australia time, which is about 8:20 p.m. Sydney time. So that's 15 hours since I left home. Alright fam, and this is our little transport there behind me, which takes us to camp. So still haven't got to camp yet, still going, only about another 15 minutes. Okay fam, so it's just before 6 p.m. Perth time, 9 p.m. Sydney time, and I'm finally arrived to my room. What a journey. But I'll tell you more about it tomorrow because I'm tired now and I'm going to go to bed even though it is daylight. Okay fam, so it's the day after my epic journey. I've made it here, I'm at work. So first morning I'm at work. Very warm out here guys in the west coast of Australia. It's already in the high 30s and it's only 6 a.m. Very quiet as you can see. Everyone's already left to the mines or they're sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet. But basically guys, is this the longest journey to work in the world? Now, I'm sure there's people that will say, oh no, there's longer journeys than that. But is it one of the longest journeys in the world? So basically I started off 7 a.m. in Sydney, train to the airport, and then from the airport I plane at 9 a.m. to Perth in Western Australia. Got there at 11:15 a.m. their time. It was a 5-hour flight. Went 3 hours time difference between Sydney and Perth. Then from there had to get another plane to work here at Port Hedland in Western Australia on the north-western coast. And what was that, another 2 and a bit hours on the plane journey. So all up I left my home in Sydney at 7 a.m. and arrived at work Sydney time at 9 p.m. So that's a 14-hour journey to get to work. So again guys, is that the longest journey to work in the world? You tell me. But I hope you enjoyed this little clip of my trip and what I do for work and how I get to work and whether this is the longest journey to work. And this is what helps me travel and do all my travel videos, this job here. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video guys. Okay guys, and one thing I forgot to mention was the distance that I traveled. So basically from Sydney to Perth was 4,000 kilometres. Perth to Port Hedland was another 2,000 and a bit kilometres, or 1,600 kilometres. So all up, it was about 5,600 kilometres to get to work. So not just the length of time, but the distance as well. So take it onto the account and we'll see whether it's the longest journey to work. And at the moment there's all flies everywhere. This is the time of year where they're all out. So we put up with this as well when we get here. But it's all worth it if I can travel and do my videos for you guys. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed it guys.